Welcome to Let's Play Dolls and Piano. I'm Melissa, and it's time for Show Us Your Elves, which is hosted by two lovely channels, Playful Dolls Adventures and J Dolls UK. Last month, January 21st, when the elf reveal was National Hug Day, so that was the theme, hugs. And I found this at Dollar Tree. It says, free hugs. This month, February, it is the color red and flowers. So I'm sitting here with my little guy, Tessie. And actually, I purchased this little guy in May of 2024, and I just haven't had him on. And the username that I purchased him from was Tessie, so I named him Tessie, Tessi. And if you go over to J Dolls UK, she has one just like this little guy. It's a standing one, and his name is Taliesin. Hello, Taliesin, and hello, Torrida and Corinda, her other two elves. I've modified this little guy so that he's got bent arms, bent legs, a little more babyish looking. So I was sick for 2 weeks with the flu over Christmas, and so Tinky, she's living on her own now in her own apartment, and she couldn't come over, and she was going to have Serendipity here, her friend, and Franz, her boyfriend, but Serendipity was in Hawaii on holiday vacation, and Franz had North Pole duties. So Tinky is here tonight. We've invited the other two in, but I don't know if they're going to be able to make it. We'll see. Tinky's in the bathroom. If you've followed my channel in the past, you know my main elf is Tinky, which is the Tinky sculpt by Cindy Musgrove. My Tinky was reborn by Barbara Borrell of Looney Toony Wee Ones Nursery, and I purchased her in 2019. I kept her sculpt named Tinky, which would be her baby name, but now that she's growing up, she had to have an adult name, and so her name is now Aubrey. So while Tessie lays there and looks at the hanging hearts, I hear Tinky coming out of the bathroom, and I'm going to show you how she's grown. So Tinky is in her teen years now, and she has grown almost 2 inches taller. She has changed the color of her hair to black, and the color of her eyes to a grayish blue. And let me show you how she's grown. So I took Tinky completely apart, and I took her cloth body and I cut it in half as high up as I could, and I put an extension on it, and when I put her back together, her little half torso covered the extension completely. It made her butt stick out more like a teenager too. This is an authentic kit, and the authentic kits have the half torso. Although I think there are some replicas that may have had that too, but she is an authentic kit. If you have one of these elves, you have found that it is very difficult to find shoes that fit. So I made her these little slip-on sandals. So it is very cold outside, and there's some snow on the ground. We've had a frigid winter with lots of snow, 12 inches at one time. So Tinky has her fur wrap on to keep warm.
I was really hoping that Serendipity and Franz would be able to make it. What's that? Tinky, Mrs. G, are you guys up? It's Serendipity. I've made it in from Hawaii. No way, yes way.
The girls gave each other a hug, and as they stood side by side, you could see how much Tinky had grown.
It's really cold out there, Tinky, compared to how warm it was in Hawaii.
Just as the girls were catching up with their current events,
No way, yes way.
And there stood Franz, tall and handsome, bearing a valentine for Tinky, wild for you, a big headband of roses to put on Tinky's head. Elves choose their mates while they are young, subject to the parents' approval. The ritual of elf courting. An elf wishing to marry must first court the mate of his or her choice. Courtship can take on many forms. An elf may compose songs or poems praising the object of his love, or may fashion a special jewel for the loved one to wear. So Franz places the flower bouquet on Tinky's head that he's fashioned for her. And they embrace in a hug.
"10 minutes ago I saw you, and we murmured our how do you do's. I wanted to ring out the bells and to fling out my arms and to sing out the news. I have found her, she's an angel with the dust of the stars in her eyes. We are hugging, we are flying, and she's taking me up to the skies. I may never come down to earth again."
They must seek permission to marry from their loved one's parents, guardians, and almost always permission is freely granted, and the two families begin preparing for the wedding. But these two are still in the courting process, and they still have to get to the place where they go into the engagement period. If the elves are independent adults, they can choose their own mate without parental approval. Franz is everything that I would have chosen for Tinky in a mate. They have my full approval when the time comes and Tinky is mature enough. So while Tussie is giving Serendipity plenty of hugs, we're all gonna sit around and watch a movie and dig into a big bag of popcorn. And we're gonna catch up with each other's lives. Hey Tinky, do you remember these little gloves that I got you one Christmas? You wore these gloves until they were just totally worn out.
Yeah, look, Mom, I can't even get them on anymore.
She's an angel with the dust of the stars in her eyes.
Franz will make a great father someday, and Tinky a great mother. Thanks for watching. See you next time.